Welcome to Polished-ish. Polished-ish is where real stories meet real lessons. Hosts Ruma, Julianne, and Gerry share unfiltered conversations about failure, growth, and the messy beauty of life, proving that imperfection is where the magic happens. So pull up a chair, because life isn't polished, it's polished-ish. Welcome to Polished-ish with Life Isn't Polished and Neither Are We. We're back.
Hello,
Yes,
hello.
we are. Hello.
How are you guys doing?
Good. You guys are all back from your wonderful travels.
Listen, I need a vacation for my vacation. I'm not super sold on travel anymore. Too much work to get out, too much work when you get home. I had a good time in Hawaii. It's beautiful. Kauai was, but it's going to take a lot to wrestle me out of my home moving forward.
Travel is just not glamorous anymore. I just got back from Vietnam and the jet lag hit me hard this time. I don't know why, but 4 days, I'm still struggling to get back to sleep patterns.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's why we are the experts at staycation in my family. We've got that figured out.
Yeah. I'm about to stay. Plus all the dogs broke a window. It's just like, come on.
We're going to have to do a whole episode about you and your dogs, Julianne.
Oh, Lord. Wait, Gerry, how was Vietnam? Did you love it? Hoi An is so cute, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, you spot on. So much fun. It was a little bit touristy. I thought, it's so inexpensive. The people are so friendly. The food is good. It's amazing. I'm going back to Vietnam. I will.
That's great. All right. So what are we talking about today, Gerry?
Well, hey, I just took a branding class on your personal brand. So I thought we maybe talk about that this episode. Like, what is your personal brand? Like, is it working for you? Do you know what it is? If others talk about your personal brand, does it match what you think your brand is? So I throw that out there, kind of like, let's talk about our personal brands.
Yeah, well, personal brand sounds such a big thing. I don't know what other people think about me. I don't know if I want to know what other people think about me, but I can tell you, I've thought about what my personal brand is because I had to sort of, think put that for myself. And over my journey, personal and professional, I definitely, my personal brand is that of giving myself the permission to do new things, like the power of permission, choosing the courage to not be, choosing courage over conformity. Like you would expect somebody to follow a certain path, but just giving myself permission to do new things and to learn, to evolve, to fail. Every new thing has a risk. And then last week, I was in a setting where people said one word that describes you. And I thought of myself, I definitely am a disruptor. I like to challenge the status quo, poke holes into why it is that way, and really ask about, can we do it differently? So, if there's a t-shirt which says something, I would probably say, give yourself the permission to be a disruptor.
Interesting. So if you said, I did this exercise, like 5 words that describe you. So I asked some people, I'm like, what are 5 words that you think of to describe me? And here's what they came back with.
Yeah.
And then I kind of matched up, like, is this what I want to be? Am I being my true self? Is that my brand? So the first one was woo. Woo is like winning others over, right? I'm like, okay. Integrity, fun, authenticity, empathetic, charisma, loving simplicity, not complexity, and calm under pressure. So you guys know me. Would you agree with those words? Yeah. Is that my brand? Is that
those
what
are
I project?
Excellent choices. I think those are spot on.
Nice. And I think that aligns with who I want to be. I do want to live my values. So my values are very family first, people friendly, community, helping, kindness. So I would agree with a lot of what they said there about authenticity and having fun and being empathetic.
I completely agree with you. Having known you for quite a bit, I think you're definitely one of the most empathetic people that I have met, and that is kind of one of those things that we kind of miss, is to really understand, right? Spend the time to understand and really, so yeah, absolutely. I would agree with all of those descriptions. You. So, yeah, Julianne, what about you?
Well, let's, if you guys don't mind, let's have you tell me. I wrote a little list of words, but just because Gerry threw the exercise out there, I'd love to hear, I'd love to hear what you guys think.
Do you want to start, Ruma? We'll go word for word.
Okay.
Good.
I think the first word that comes to is a trailblazer. You have done so many things. You've started so many new things. You've launched things and you've pivoted in your career so many times. I think of you as a really like a trailblazer and somebody who's very courageous. So sorry, I took 2 words.
Then I get to, I'm going to go with fearless. I mean, you're like, I'm moving to New Orleans. I'm going to have a farm. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to start an online school. I mean, like, I just sit there and go, wow, you just are not afraid to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
I think about doing things, but I never pull the trigger, and you pull the trigger. So that I really admire about you. And I think that's your brand. And the other thing I would definitely say is I feel like you're very intelligent, like you're well read. You definitely know your stuff.
Thank you guys. I'm not going to have you drone on anymore because that was awesome.
I'm going to add one more. I think following that is innovator, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're fearless, then you are also innovative, right? And everything that you have done is new things, right? Like it's easy to follow, but to start new things takes a different mindset.
So would you agree, Julianne, do you feel
Julianne?
like that's the brand you're trying to project? Or is it like,
I don't
wow,
know.
I was really going
That's a better brand than I even think I'm projecting. And we're going to have to talk about imposter syndrome on another episode. But I said innovator, learner, because learning is really like at the center of my whole life. You know, it's like if I don't know it, I'll figure it out. I love that process. Optimist. I'm a connector. I think I have like a can-do attitude. You know, like it's like, hey, let's try it, you know. And reinvention, like I'm not afraid to reinvent myself. But I also wrote on there, which something you guys said went counter to this, and this makes me so happy, is I'm very failure averse. I hate not succeeding. And I've had plenty of things I've not succeeded at, but it makes me happy that that's because I still feel terrified, even when I'm doing things. You know what I mean? Like it's still scary. I hate failing, but what I think I've learned is like, just fail fast, just try it. If it doesn't work, move on, pivot. So at least if I'm keeping that to myself, it makes me happy.
Yeah, totally agree with the learner. Yeah, definitely see that in you. Wait, you said another one too, and it didn't stick in my mind. What were they again?
Optimist, innovator, learner, connector.
That's it.
Connector.
So, we know this for a fact, but as soon as we were all on the site innovation team, Julianne's like whipping out her Rolodex and like, I'm bringing in so-and-so and connecting all these people to us and so forth. Connector, 100%.
Yeah.
You are
Well,
connected.
the thing about that too is that I don't even really think about it because it's just like people you know, people you build relationships with, right? But I like the conversation we had earlier because I need to now on this project I'm working on, reach out to some loose ties, you know, people I haven't talked to. And I was just listening to that podcast of ours. So it would bolster me. I'm like, just do it. People want to help. Don't be afraid to ask.
I mean, yes, the power of networking, right? We talked about that, about how, you know, you sometimes you may think about like, no, I'm going to hold on to this group because I'm going to tap into them when I need it. But actually, when you are the connector, people are more willing because they see that you're sharing, you know, and it's like how you were taught, like sharing is caring. Similar to that, right? When you help others grow your network, they are more approachable that way. Like, oh, you know, Julianne connected me to this person, but you're always willing to help, right? There is never a time when I have sort of come out to you and said, so you're also very solution oriented. Like, okay, yeah, let's figure it out, right?
Got to be. Can't be just wallowing in our problems.
Yeah. I was in this meeting the other day when I said, I'm so tired of admiring the problem. I really want to talk about the solutions because we get into this loop about we have so many problems and it's so complex, etc. And we have admired it for so long, but you know, getting in there to say, okay, well, it's time to change it. And also accepting that we may not get everything right, but as long as we don't do anything illegal or hurt anybody, right? The parameters, the, you know, boundaries that are set, then I think it gives you the permission, right? To say, okay, let's try this, you know, and let's try this with our best intention. And I think people will give you a lot more sort of, you know, space. People will give you a lot more leeway. But yeah, it's trying something new is not easy, but somebody has to do it.
So Ruma, do you want to play this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see Ruma.
Yeah. Tell me about my words. What do you think about what are the 5 words that describe me?
First, Julianne?
No, you go first.
One word that comes to mind is grit. I feel like Ruma has tons of grit. Like Ruma, she grinds it out. Like it's going to get done. Grits, like stays the course. Like I'm going to grind this out. So that comes to mind right off the top of my head.
It's like I'm trying to narrow it down to just one. and not
You don't
hard
have
to
any
it.
one. I'll go with kindness. You're
Yeah.
a very kind person, like very kind. Yeah, you could just hear it
I,
in your voice, and the fact that you love Ted Lasso just tells me you're a kind person.
and
I
Ruma,
believe everybody needs a Ted Lasso in their life. And I want to
yeah.
be that
Oh, I think
for somebody.
we all need to be more like Ted Lasso. He needs like a little bobblehead that we can put in our cars to remind us when we go places, don't yell at people, don't flip them off, just be kind. Also, Ruma, I think that you are very calm, very approachable, grace under fire. I remember when we had the SIG event when Arielle came, and you're just so chill about stuff. I've learned so much from you. You're just very like you're someone I would come to if I had a problem. Like you would be like, okay, let's talk about it. Like, and that's very reassuring. I think to people that are around you, it's nice. It's a really good quality.
Thank you. This really
And you're
lifted me up.
smart, and you're smart, and you're driven, and you finish stuff that you start, right? Even if you don't want to always. Hello, medical degree, right? That had to be no joke.
Yeah,
And
if I got arrested and had to call one person, and I couldn't get a hold of my wife or my kids, I call Ruma. Ruma
Thank
would be
you.
like, "I'll be right there."
yeah,
I
we'll send
really
your
do.
husband too, because he buys cars randomly, so we know he would bail us out.
He would totally bail us out. But I wouldn't actually call my husband at first because he never picks up my phone. So no, thank you so much. That was so nice. It was so good to hear that.
Is that the brand you want to be projecting?
That's the brand I have, I think. It kind of goes with what I said earlier, right? I definitely have look at from where I started and where I am, right? I had to have a lot of grit.
Mhm.
And I've learned that through. It's just, there's no shortcut. There's no
Not to anywhere
shortcut.
you want to go, girl. Not to anywhere you want to go.
There are no shortcuts in life. You just gotta power through it. And it depends on how you get there, right? The journey is as important as the destination is a lesson I've learned too.
Yeah. Another
Well,
thing about the brand that kind of like sparked me too is like, what do people
yeah.
say about you when you're not in the room?
Yes.
Like when I'm not around, are people like saying those words that like you shared or those other people that I talked to shared, or are they saying something completely different? And if
Mhm.
that's the case, then maybe I'm not living my brand and it's not aligned. So it's good to know that we say those words and you agree with those words because that's probably what I would say behind your back if you weren't here.
Thank
Well,
you.
one of the things I'm curious about though is what would we do if there was something about our brand that was off? Like if we were going to talk to someone else, right? And what
Mhm.
advice would you give
Yeah.
someone? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like if you're perceived this way, whether it be positive or negative, but that's not what you're trying to put out. I just kind of wonder, and I don't know if that was something you guys talked about, Gerry, in if the alignment wasn't there between who you think you are and who other people perceive you to be.
Yeah, no, I don't think we really got into that kind of depth, but I mean, it's a great question to understand.
I
Yeah.
agree. It is so tough. Um, you know, but it has to be done, right? There is no other way because it is not. As Gerry said, it's not about what people are saying in front of you. It's what they are saying when you're not in the room, and you want
Yep.
every person in that room to be your champion and advocate to say,
Yep.
I know Julianne. She is the best person you can actually hire if you want to get this done and really think about just not now, but how it is going to be in the future, right? She is. And so if people are not saying that, then how do you fix that is definitely something that we should think.
Yeah, that can be a conversation. No, I mean, and I just throw the question out there, and maybe we have a part two to this, and we can all go back and think about it. But I also think for you sent us that beautiful photo of your daughter going to prom, and it's like,
Mm.
then how do we also help young people that we know or mentor? And there's time, you know what I mean? I have like a group of 10 kids from Tulane that are helping me on the TEDx
Mhm.
NOLA,
Nice.
and and it's funny. I've learned so much from you, Gerry. I just want to say about management because it was like they're doing this. I created a little structure within their group. So there's a hierarchy, blah, blah, blah. They'll come to me about stuff. I said, I'm going to trust you guys to do it. If you have specific questions, I'm happy to help you, but you don't need my permission. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm not going to be upset. This is a team sport. And then that was really powerful for them. And that's something I definitely picked up from you because it's like when you trust your people and you say, I don't know how you're going to get from point A to point B. I'm here to talk to you if you need help and support or if you have questions, but I'm going to trust you're going to figure it out.
And that might come into our future imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
episode where you don't think you can, but when you get that trust, all of a sudden you feel like you can. So, we'll save that. We'll save
Okay.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I will tell you, I'll share an experience with you early on in my career. One of my things that I think you pointed out, like I have a lot of grit and I get things done, right? That is kind of, I used to think that was my brand, like I will get things done. But actually that there was a negative side to it. Once I received this feedback saying, Ruma can get things done, but she leaves bodies in the corridor, right? So how are you sort of, and it was never my intent, right? But you just don't realize that. It's just, and that's why the journey is as important as the destination. It's just not about getting there and delivering things. It's about making sure that how you are with people around you as you get through it. Right. And it was tough to take that because I thought I was very kind. I thought I intended to be very kind, but clearly that's not how it showed. And so I had to do a lot of self-reflection on how I would take that feedback. So there is a kernel of truth in everything we hear.
That is true.
We may not agree with all of it, but there's something there. And then I think the starting point is to really get to understand what that is.
Awesome. All right. So this is a call to action to all our listeners out there. Go to your friends and ask for 5 words to describe you and see if it matches your personal brand. That would be homework for everybody out there that's listening.
And put comments if you're downloading this on social media. Tell us about your experience. We'd love to hear it.
Love to hear it. Well, hey, we're come to an end. This was good. It was a great conversation. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
You guys are so nice. Thank you. You made my day.
I know, me too. Actually, I'm like, this is the perfect on a Friday. It's like the perfect conversation.
If I ever need to lift me up, I'm going to come to you.
Come to us. We'll pump you up.
Totally.
All right. Until next time, ladies, have a great weekend.
Have a good
You
weekend.
too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.